I participated in LingoTWOW, which is a mini TWOW ACO word contest where participants submit 10-word-long responses to prompts and they get voted on over many rounds until there's one winner left. Many people make their own mini TWOWs with their own rules. I even have a whole series about me participating in the biggest one ever called eWow. What's different about LingoTWOW is that you can respond in multiple languages. I have survived 7 rounds and got eliminated at 132nd place out of 525 contestants. But in LingoTWOW someone was like, "What if I make a Minecraft server?" And I was like, "Sure." And thus, the LingoTWOW Minecraft server was born. This is the spawn. And now, it looks like this. How did we get here? Okay, so we started in this place where we have a beachside and a forest. First thing I had to do is to get my own house. Instead of the usual wood floor, I left a more unique floor representing the beach. And of course, a pink :3 above. Can't go anywhere without that. Other people also built their houses. Then I had a great idea to build a language school. Since this is all themed around languages, you just write inside words in your language and the translation in English for others to learn. But there was a much bigger issue in the server. We needed a leader, and to form a country, in order to have a society, we ran an election with 3 candidates, me being one of them. The other 2 had actual promises. I just remained silly. Guess who won? Me. I don't know why people have chosen me, but we shall roll with it. I was soon to find out the sheer magnitude of what just happened. I need to found a whole entire country. The first step is to write the constitution. It turns out that I'm not capable enough to make that since I didn't really even know what should it have. So with the help of these people, we discussed together a lot over multiple days. And eventually they wrote this, which I still did not understand since it was a bit above me with all the legal jargon. So I'ma explain to y'all in my words. A quick summary. A presidential term lasts 2 weeks. So we basically have elections every 2 weeks. First one had a first past the poll voting system, which means you vote the candidate that you want the most, and the one with most votes wins. But we decided from now on to have instant runoff voting system, which means in your vote you rank all candidates from most desired to least, and if a candidate has a majority first choice picks they win. If not, remove the candidate with the least amount of first choice picks, and all the votes that picked it first will now go to the second pick. Repeat this process until a candidate has a majority and wins. Whoever gets the second place in the elections becomes the vice president. The president then chooses people to fill in the 4 ministry positions in the cabinet. All 6 people have a private government chat to pass a law the president proposes. A law the vice president approves, either as a minor law or major law. Then the cabinet of ministries vote on it. If majority cabinet approves and it's minor, the law passes. But if it's major, it has one extra step. The vice president has to make a poll where the public votes on it. If majority public approves, it passes. Oh, by the way, the vice president is also in charge of hosting the next elections. Also, amendments can be done to change parts of the Constitution if needed, and impeachments can be done too, and so on. There's a bunch more stuff, but that's the gist of it. This was implemented later on, but I wanted to mention it now that each time a new government is elected, each member of it has to spin a wheel of punishments. You might have noticed that this space has remained empty. I need to give a name to this country. I had to think long. Whatever I called it would remain known like that by everyone. I eventually came up with this. It ends in these 2 vowels to make it sound like a country. Since a lot of countries end like that, it has double S to make it look fancier. And it's sorta similar to Buksona, which is what I am. We are now proud Mexoyans of this nation. I later made this flag, which is a few pixels off center. It's inspired by the Philippines flag. We have pastel pink and purple, and an emblem representing the citizens, with the Constitution finished. Days after I've been elected, the first 2-week term has officially started with me as the president and Slowpoke as the vice president. It was time to hold a presidential speech in front of an audience. Such a great moment. Then I had to figure out the foreign relationships. Also other countries and places formed on the server. One of them is called Austria. I got to travel the Suez Canal over long distances in order to visit Austria. See how it looks like. Someone sent over an assassin to take us out. But we survived. And, most importantly, have a meeting with the Austrian president. The goal of the meeting was to appoint the president as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, meaning that the relationships between Maxoya and Austria will be handled between this person and themselves. I had a bunch of sheeps, so I wanted to make a sheep farm to easily get lots of colored blocks. Kinda struggled to get the sheeps in place, and then it kept being accidentally broken by others or people would fall in, including myself. If there's no one on the server, it closes. But at times, it was on for 24 hours straight with all the different players in different time zones. The record was 37.5 hours straight. When there were a lot of us online at once, we would gather and take group photos. I was working on a bone meal farm which uses moss, and on a tree farm. Of course Carrie joins in the middle of this, and this happens. Anyways, a law was implemented that requires you to have under 10 farm animals at the spawn area to prevent too much lag. I had a big horde of cows that I had to move further away for them to not be constantly loaded, of course. As soon as I started moving them, someone started killing them for no reason. They later apologized. Also, a food ration system was implemented too, where Luna would go at each house and leave pumpkin pies. Here is a tour of the whole server so far, but sped up cause it's quite long. This is the pinkificator, an unusual contraption where you enter from one side, and you come out of the other side. Pinkier, I decided to expand my house with the floor. A pink bunny fell out of the sky. But I kept not figuring out how to properly center it. When the server is online for 24 hours straight on Eternos, it closes, and we have to open it again. Here's a clip of me being present while this happening. We also made our own currency called this, based on the name of the country. It has an impossible enchant so that you can't make counterfeit of it, and only admins can summon it in the server. There is a bank where you can exchange 1 diamond for 10 of them. And for a jumpstart, we got a big donation of diamonds, and anyone is able to claim 25 of the currency for free, which is worth 2.5 diamonds. There was also a game of tag going on at the same time, and I got tagged. So while distributing the coins, I thought might as well also tag someone else. But it's not enough. I also tried a business venture to get more coins where the equivalent of 1 diamond equals 1 meow from me. And you can get me to meow as much as you want, depending on how much you pay. The currency also enabled gambling to exist, though I didn't get too lucky with my free spin. I built a library for the purpose of having all laws and amendments in one place for the public to see. Lemon Venom started a project, the LingoTWOW of Babel, where each layer is built by a different person taking their turns up until we reach the height limit. It's cool seeing all the players' creativity. I already made a layer, but I wanted to make yet another one that was pink. It was important for the government to also have a building for themselves. I decided to make a big building that was like the White House, but pink. I only managed to do the exterior, and the interior ended up finished much later. This video is not meant to be fully comprehensive of the whole history of everything that happened. It's more like, I had a bunch of random footage, and I wanted to turn it into a video. After 2 weeks, my term was up, and it was time for a new election. Last time I won by simply being silly. That will surely work a second time. It didn't work, but the new president is Pink Bunny, so good luck to you. Spoiler alert, many more terms and elections have passed since then, and so many more things have happened in the server.